think. Yep, it says we are live. So, what up, all of my Majik Ninja Radio toonies? We are live with KPZ, Veracity, and Chaos from LastLaughRecords.net.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What's going on, guys?
All right.
So where's everyone located at that's on here tonight?
Let's see. I am in the South. Marcus, we know you're in Michigan. Katie and Veracity are East Coast, like Upper East Coast.
Nice. New Jersey, man.
Oh, man, I'm even farther north than you. Come on, now.
Oh.
Well, hell yeah. What's up, Majik Ninja Radio?
So how is everybody doing this evening?
I'm doing very well. I hope everyone else is. I just got back from an engagement celebration. Ramo, who's on my label, got engaged to Amanda, his longtime girlfriend. So it was
Aww,
Aw.
congratulations, guys.
Congratulations. That's what we like to hear.
yeah, so September 1st. They're going nutty and getting the knot tied.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
boy.
There you go.
It's going to be a fun-filled month and a half.
Well, and as you know, that's a great lead-in because what do we have going on for the whole entire fall schedule? Marcus, take it away.
Oh my God. So just recently we finished filming Potholes. That's KPZ and Z Diesel. Me and another gentleman. We just put out Ventilation. You can find it at Bandcamp, or it's mittenmademusic.bandcamp.com. So we got coming up. The forum is in New York for the 607 gathering. We're performing, I do believe, 2 days, the 12th and the 13th of August. So come check that out. That's in, I do believe, Lowman, New York.
It's Loman.
Yeah, Lowman, whichever. I'm not from New York, but the area is cool as hell. It's totally secluded. There's woods around you. There's only one house right there, and the guy's super cool. So you can actually gather, I guess, is what they were trying to do elsewhere right now. But you can do it freely there. We did it last year, and it was quite awesome. They have wrestling and stuff going on this year, so they expanded it. So come out and enjoy that.
Marcus, I got to stop you on that one. Their Facebook page said that New York gave them some problems with the wrestling, so they actually added a third stage instead. So they're going to have 3 stages going now. They already have the permits in the works for next year to get the wrestling ring set up.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't the ring. It was the issue of getting a state-approved official there.
Yep.
Because he has to come and inspect everything. He doesn't have to, like, hang out and whatever, have a good time with us, but he wants to make sure, people are going to be safe. I didn't know that had gone through already, so, okay, good update. Good update.
Good looking out, Cass.
Currently, we're mixing Michael Cush's project. It's called Strange Days, spelled with a 5 instead of an S for strange. That we'll probably have that out within the next 2 weeks. He wants to kind of put together a good marketing behind it, so that it might even be a month. But that project is just dynamite head to toe. So please be on the lookout for it. Show-wise, though, KPZ and Z Diesel, we're performing at MBK's first annual Keeper Fest. A lot of people know about MBK because they were near signing to Majik Ninja, they were near signing to Psychopathic, and they were near signing to Strange. And they kind of turned them all down because their independent buzz is kind of carrying them pretty well. So I don't think anyone holds it against them, but at the same time, their buzz is just awesome, and we're lucky enough to know 6 digits, so he threw us on the show. So we're down there on August 19th. So yeah, if you're in the Ohio area, Midtown Ohio, come out and check us out. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That is what's up. And then, of course,
videos for if people know who Ramo is, he put out an EP through us probably about a month and a half ago now, and he's working on 2 videos right now. So he's got a solo one, and then he's got another one.
I would say he did release something. He was the only one I really didn't have information on. And I know he releases an EP.
Yeah, he released an EP on June 16th called Look Who's Laughing Now.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So we're staying busy.
Yep, and then of course after that we've got, in the month of October, we've got 607, and then we've got, in October, we've got the CLBB5, Crystal Lake Bloodbath, and I am super psyched to be covering that. I'm really, really psyched up for that one.
No, I'm glad. It's always a good time. I think most people know UGA, Jason Allen, Jason Voorhees, whatever you want to call him. It's me and him, and basically everything's 50-50. Ideas, arguments, whatever comes out of it. We plan year round for it, so it's a huge event to us, and we got, actually MBK, my brother's keeper, is one of the headliners, and then St. Luke this year. Every year it gets bigger, it gets wilder, and we've never had an issue getting people in the door. It's pure entertainment all night long.
It does. I remember the first one I was supposed to host, and I had just had my son, and so I couldn't very well leave a brand new baby to go all the way back to Michigan to host, but I remember watching the progression of this event over the years. It's like every year like 5 or 6 new acts are added, and and then before you know it, like you had I think wasn't Medical Records part of a couple of the years too?
Yeah, we've had Medical Records was on the first one. Got involved in the second one.
Oh, I think we're losing you a little bit, Marcus.
You're losing, or are you losing me? I'm on LTE. I got 100% signal.
Oh, that's weird. There's like some feedback going on. Maybe it's just the call. Stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulty. Okay, there we go. Seems better.
It's gone.
Yes, it's gone. Sometimes, with putting, again, people sometimes like to, fuck around and make fun of sound quality every now and then. But you have to remember, all of us are in different states. And the fact that we're able to do one continuous video call with audio and video streaming, pretty fucking impressive to me. People need to lay off their cell phones and like quit yelling about, oh man, it won't download. I hate this fucking piece of shit phone. It's like, try growing up in the 80s and 90s. Like, we didn't have this shit. You couldn't do this shit.
I totally agree.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, it's like all these little sound files and picture files have to go all up through the ether to like come back and reassemble like fucking Wonka Vision on the other end. Like, just be grateful it works.
It happens.
Confessions of a techno fail.
About medical.
Yeah.
Medical was on the first Crystal Lake Bloodbath. We had it in Waterford 5 years ago. And they got involved in this one. They're not only performing, but they're also a sponsor this time. So we got them, Divi Audi Studios, which represents Chop Shop. They're out of Troy, Michigan. They're sponsoring it as well. So is HearItNation.com. If you've never checked them out, please check them out. They're a large berth of local support for us. So they're really good people. They come out to a lot of our shows. They broadcast live. And then, Medical Records kind of hopped into it. White Smoke has been friends of ours for quite a while. So they're coming out to perform. They got another album they're going to try and drop right around that time. So it should just be a wild night altogether. So
Absolutely.
come out, have fun, get stupid.
But not too stupid.
Yeah, don't be too stupid.
No, too stupid's bad.
Exactly. We got like I do believe we're gonna have ladies dressed up in scantily clad outfits with hockey masks on, with blood dripping off of them, walking around serving drinks and talking to guests and stuff all night.
Sexy Freddy Krueger? Nah. Sexy damn Freddy Krueger. Sexy damn Freddy Krueger.
No, Freddy Krueger. I think it's all going to be Jason.
I know, I'm being funny. There's a show I absolutely love called The Venture Brothers, and the Halloween episode, they're like razzing on that, like, can anyone be Freddy Krueger? Nope, everything's got sexy in front of it. Sexy Freddy Krueger. Sexy damn Freddy Krueger. Yeah, it does.
That just reminds me of the Rick and Morty episode with Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. You know, that's one I haven't really had a chance to get into so much. I'm working on it. But every time I end up falling asleep, like, I don't know.
It doesn't take long. You'll move into it.
No, it really doesn't.
I'll get there.
I hated that everybody was walking around talking about it, and then I sat there and I watched it, and I went, why didn't I watch this sooner?
Yeah, it's like Trailer Park Boys. You watch like 2 or 3 episodes, and then you're like, fuck, people are talking to you, and you're looking at your phone trying to watch the next one.
Oh, man, yeah, that was great. Like, I got into Trailer Park Boys in about 2012, 2013. I actually lived in Canada for about a year. I'm actually dual citizenship. And so, like, all my friends in Canada, like, that's what they watch. And the crazy part to me is when you watch it with a Canadian, they will tell you these wonderful little facts about how a whole show that's basically dedicated to growing weed and selling weed is actually legit funded by the Canadian government in Nova Scotia. Like, that is a true story. It's great. Yeah, it's great.
They've been doing it for years. They're leaps and bounds ahead of us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Medical care, everything. There's a lot of shit that's really good.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely loved it. And now, like, there is a flip side to it, though, because the free health care is great, but what people don't realize is that you still pay for medications, and because there's no insurance, a medication that you're used to only paying, say, $1.50 to $3 here because you have insurance, in Canada, you're looking at you're going to pay, $300 for that medication. But yet your emergency room visit is free, all your doctor visits are free. So it really ends up being a trade-off.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what happens, you're going to have that. If you're going to eat, you're going to shit. That's part of life. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much. That's a good point. But what if I don't want to poop? Then I just won't eat. See how that works?
Yeah, but then you die. So.
You ever seen Human Centipede? Anyway.
Yeah, right.
Oh, ew.
Right.
Nastiest
Also,
thing
I
I've
wanted to
ever
mention,
seen.
at the Crystal Lake Bloodbath, we're also dropping a mixtape compilation called The Scorpion Stinger from Last Laugh Records. So we're going to have a variety of different songs on there, different tempos, different topics. So we try to put one out every 2 years, so it's about time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And for those of you tuning in to the broadcast this evening, I've got tons of promo and a lot of contests coming up. And I think the first one is going to be make a fan sign with Last Laugh Records or any one of the artists on Last Laugh Records. Here's the contest rules. It's simple. Make a funny fan sign. Take a picture of yourself holding the fan sign or other people. Get creative with it. No real rules other than be safe and legal. And then you're going to tag Marcus KPZ in that post, and we will pick a winner this week. And the winner will get a set of sampler CDs, which we discussed on air the other night, the Summer Starter and a bunch of other great stuff, and a set of wristbands. So I'll give you 4 wristbands, a CD, and 6 stickers. So make your fan sign, type in, make a Last Laugh fan sign, and tag Marcus. What's your exact Facebook URL, Marcus?
Marcus, M-A-R-C-U-S, KPZ, as in keep, profit, and zip. And my last name is Palazzolo. You can try your heart out on that one. It's P-A-L-A-Z-Z-O-L-O. So if you just type the @ symbol and then KPZ music, it will come up.
Yep, or if you forget all of that, you can always go to my SashaDoll page, Sasha Thompson, SashaDoll. Marcus is right there. I tag stuff with him every week. You'll find us. You'll find us.
Yeah, she's relentless. You'll find it right away.
Yes. That's true. That is true. So, yeah. So that's what's up tonight.
And who all's coming out to the bloodbath that you know of, and to the 607 gathering? I know you guys have chatted amongst yourselves about heading out there.
I know that Chaos and I are going for sure. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm definitely going to be at 607. I'm actually going to be camping out there all weekend.
Yeah, I think Chaos told me that before. I look forward to it.
For sure, yeah. And then I will be in town for the bloodbath, and then I am doing a Raise Your Hatchet event for Autism Speaks, and we are looking at hosting it the same weekend as the bloodbath, so I'm already in town. So we'll either do it the night before or the night after.
Well, hell yeah. I mean,
Figure that out already?
Yeah.
the bloodbath, it is a Friday the 13th event, so it's on a Friday, and it's at Diesel Lounge. If no one knows where that's at, it's in Chesterfield, Michigan. It's a fucking half of it's a bowling alley, half of it is an old concert arena.
Oh, yeah, that's the old Chesterfield Lanes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's now Premier Lanes. In the back half of it, they cleaned out everything and made it into a huge stage area. It's amazing.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, the sound quality is awesome. So, where are you guys having this event for autism? Are you aware of that yet?
Not yet. I think they have a venue locked down, but I'm not supposed to say anything yet. But we're looking at it's in Redford, if that tells you anything.
Okay.
I know you know exactly which venue we're looking at. So it is
Absolutely.
Yep, it is in Redford, and
I can give you Brian's phone number if you need it.
oh,
Anyway.
actually that would be wonderful. Please shoot that over to me. But yeah, this is like the official sponsor is autismspeaks.org. I'm super psyched. Those of you that don't know, my mother and I have been doing work for autistic children for years. My own son is borderline ASD. So this is a cause that really means a lot to me, and I'm really excited to be hosting and getting into this.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see enough people that genuinely want to help other people out nowadays. So I love seeing shit like that.
Yeah, and in fact, the person that's hosting the event, Fallon, said to me, he's like, well, how much do you cost to host an event? And I didn't know. I thought he was just asking for someone else. And I was like, well, it's this much. And he's like, ooh. And I was like, wait, what? Are you trying to hire me? And he's like, yeah, for this. And I was like, hell no, you're a homie. Here's what you can do. Take what you would have paid me and put it into the event. And so, like, all of us are going without pay for the evening, and everything is going to Autism Speaks.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Yeah. So.
Well, congrats on that.
Yeah.
I hope you get information soon so I can put it on my schedule and come hang out.
Thank you. We would absolutely love to have you and the guys there. That would be wonderful.
Hell yeah.
Maybe get you to throw in a Majik impromptu set on stage even.
We do crazy stuff like that all the time.
We do. Sonic is the other one that's really good for that. I can't tell you how many events he showed up at, and like, I don't know, there's been technical difficulties or a band didn't show up, and there's Sonic right up on stage.
Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he is such good peeps. He was saying some stuff this week about, hey, I need $100. You can PayPal it to me. And out of a lot of people that I can, tell you from the Metro Detroit area that I've run into on a regular basis at shows, he is just a totally genuine person. And I was like, dude, I got $100 for you. Here it is right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, I know he's good for it. He'll send it back to me. He is good peeps. So that's cool. That sounds like him. He's very interested in being involved. You know?
I remember one time I didn't know him from anyone, and I got stranded on the bus. I met him through somebody that I dated a while ago, and and I was stranded on the bus, and this person said, hey, I can't go get her. I don't have a car. She took the wrong bus. And Sonic just straight up was like, fuck that, man. It's raining out. She shouldn't be out there in the rain. This is no place. And he went all the way to E-Course because I took the wrong bus just to get me.
Yeah, he's good peeps like that.
Mm-hmm. He and Bakelo both. I love the two of them dearly.
No, Bakelow's really good guy. Him and I have got along for a long time.
my
I like his music. It actually has a very good message behind it.
It does, and my favorite experience with Bakelo is, again, I didn't know him. The person I was dating was shooting a music video with Bakelo and Sonic, and I was very, very pregnant with my son and very, very sick and very miserable. And Bakelo stopped the entire video set, didn't tell me he was doing this, stopped the whole video shoot, went all the way to White Castle, got a shit ton of food. They only had one brownie left at the White Castle. So when he brought back all this food, he's like, and no one better touch that brownie. That's for the pregnant little girl downstairs. And he literally did. He like loaded up the pool table in his in his basement with like these big blankets and like fluffy pillows and stuff, because there was no extra bed for me or anything because everyone was using everything. And so he loads up this pool table and he's like, here you go. No one's going to bother you, sweetheart. And here's a bucket just in case. You let me know if you need anything. Like, and these are guys I didn't even know. I didn't meet them, you know, until then.
It's lost in the world today. Humanity doesn't care about humanity anymore. It's weird, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. It's a very weird time.
Quite unfortunate.
I mean,
That is
I don't
quite
remember who said the quote. Someone famous, I think it was Henry David Thoreau. I'm not positive, but said one of those fuckers back then.
One of them old wise fuckers.
Yeah, one of them old wise fuckers put that in a quote. Said the most dynamic characteristic of humanity is their inability to be humane to each other.
Isn't that something? That's
Which is really fucked up.
and that's deep, and it's true. So many people. I have a neighbor that's 103 years old, and her daughter is like 80 something. She had her daughter when she was like 14 or 15, because it's the South. That was normal back then. You know, people getting married very young, working on farms, having kids. And so her daughter's like in her late 80s, and the mother's 103. And I saw her struggling to get her out the door one night. And I mean, it was late, and it wasn't a church night, so I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And so I rushed over there. Come to find out, her mother, her leg was swollen, and she was trying desperately to load her mother into the car without hurting her. And she was so insistent. She was like, oh, you don't have to help me. I got it. Oh, I feel so bad that you're helping me. And it's like, why do you feel bad? You know, her mother weighs probably 80 or 90 pounds, and she's a little thing herself. It's like, you can't be expected at 80-something years old to lift up this woman and put her in the car. I got you.
No, I know people taking care of their parents, and their parents are almost 60. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and for this 80-something-year-old woman to like be taken care of, and her daughter is like, I think 60, late 60s or so, and then her mother being 103, I just can't get over that. Being 103.
If I'm 103 and I get a swollen leg, I'm gonna be like, fuck, I got a swollen leg.
Yeah.
I'm 103. Give me a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Give me a beer.
Well, that's pretty much how Miss Rosie is. She barely talks, but I mean, I started going to church with them, and it started as me helping them get their mother's wheelchair in and out of the building and stuff, and then it just turned into like this wonderful love and friendship. And you know, like the other day their air conditioner went out, and so like I grabbed the filter, ran over to my house, cleaned it, got it back in, got the air conditioner running, and I was, in the meantime, I had gotten out the you know, like the air mattress pump and stuff like that, because I was prepared to literally put her mother in my spare room and let them sleep, you know, wherever, you know, whatever, because, you know, down here it's no joke in the heat. And, you know, she was so thankful for it, and she's like, no one helps like you do. And it's like, really? Whatever happened to that human kindness?
No one thinks of it nowadays. I shouldn't say no one. The majority of human beings don't think about it until they need it, not when someone else needs it.
Right, and so many people nowadays are just out for what can you do for me. And it's like, I can't do anything for you, but I can love you and I can help you the best I can when you have a problem. And that's what I can do.
And then you run into the people that, like, especially younger people nowadays, like when they were growing up, you know, their parents taught them to actually respect their elders and to do what you said, Sasha, to help when help is needed. And then You know, you get funny looks. You go to hold open a door for an elderly person walking into the grocery store, and they look at you like, what's going on?
Well, and especially when you're full of tattoos and piercings, they look at you like, what are you doing? And it's like,
The looks I get, though,
yeah.
the looks I get are ridiculous.
Well, yeah, but see, I was always taught that, like, okay, I watched the 89-year-old, I think she's 89, we'll just say, I watched the 89-year-old trying to sweep up debris off her sidewalk and rake up the lawn. So what do you think I did? It was 90 degrees that day. I don't believe an 89-year-old woman should be out there in that heat raking up leaves. So I said, you know, Miss Reba, go in the house. I got this. You know what I mean? And she's like, oh, no, honey, I couldn't. And it's like, you couldn't what? Go sit down in the house and let me help you?
I've had 90-degree days where I end up fucking raking the sidewalk and sweeping the lawn.
Yeah, I feel ya.
Yeah. It took me a minute to get that out. That was hard to say.
But yeah, I was raised in a generation, and I weep for my son's generation because I see it already. These kids that are glued to cell phones, you can't get a word out of them. I don't play that. We don't have a cell phone, and we don't get to stay glued to electronics. In fact, I have one tiny TV in my living room, and he's not allowed to touch it. He's not allowed to mess with it. Too many kids nowadays, man. I think that's part of the breakdown. And, you know, nowadays kids are bullying each other with social media. Now, Marcus, you're about my age, so, I mean, I'm sure you can think of every cringeworthy thing you did through school that if it were today would be on social media, because I know I can. I was a very awkward child.
There's absolutely no privacy in childhood, I can tell you that much. But even
Aren't you glad we all grew up before smartphones and social media?
Yes, but now we have to teach our children. Now we have to teach our children that what these other kids in school are doing and outside of school is not appropriate.
Absolutely.
And that's the hard part. I explained it the other day. Parenting is raising someone while teaching them to meet their own needs while still respecting the needs of others.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it boils down to.
Yeah, that's pretty dead on.
Yeah, and it's tough because you have this tiny little thing that started off, you know, reliant on you for everything, and it knew it was the center of your world, and now you're teaching it that it's not the center of the universe, and it needs to do things for itself, while still respecting that other people are the center of their own universe, and not interfering. And it's tough.
Yeah, and which is good if you can instill it in them when they're young, but at a certain point, our friends and our social groups are what take over our major thinking rules. So the hardest part for me, I have 3 daughters, so the hardest part for me is to keep track of who they're with.
Absolutely.
You know, my daughters, just like all of us, we have friends when we go to work. Outside of work, we might not be friends with those people, but during work, they might influence us as we might influence them. And I think it's the same way with my kids. They have certain friends they're friends with at school. They have certain friends they're friends with at soccer, or, you know what I'm saying, at dance class.
Well, sure. It's like my mom once explained it to me. She's like, you know, Sasha, because I used to go to City Club. And she's like, I need you to know the difference between club friends and friendships. You may see people at the club every week, but they're doing whatever they want in their lives, and those choices they're making during the week might not be normal and healthy. And then you see them on the weekend, but that doesn't mean be buddy-buddy, let them come home with you, let them see your house and your life, you know.
Yeah.
So absolutely, same thing with work, school, you know, church, any place.
And I had to learn that separation in music. So
Yeah, that's that same thing.
if you can groom your kids for that early, and you can give them some kind of recourse to be able to identify the things in front of them, life will end up a lot better. I wish my parents would have done more of that with me. So
Yeah, my family was very much about meals are taken at the family table. We didn't have TV trays. We weren't allowed to eat outside of the table. Even if you had a drink, you had to leave it on a coaster on the table, even though you were walking around or playing the Nintendo on times we were allowed or whatever. But
I'm still like like that. If I catch
Me too.
lemonade on my couch, I'm fucking you up.
Me too. Like, my son knows. Like, he picked up his cup the other day, and I turned around, and he goes, uh-oh. And he put it back on the table, and he goes, I was just going to take it to go watch my movie, Mommy. And I said, no, you were just going to put it back on the table, and how about you ask and we can compromise? And in this case, because it's just your snack and it's not a meal, Mommy is happy to turn the little TV around so you can see it. Compromise, buddy, compromise.
Yeah, but you're keeping that cup at the table, damn it.
Yeah, the other thing he likes to do is, we are 3 now. No one talks about the 3s. My friend jokingly said, because the 3s are like Nam, you live through that shit once and you never speak to it about it again.
Oh, yeah, it's not the
Oh, yeah.
terrible twos,
No.
it's the terrible threes.
No, and so he's at the age where he impishly looks at you with any new receptacle you give him to drink out of, and the first thing he does is tip that sucker upside down to see if it's spill-proof.
And those spill-proof sippy cups are not as spill-proof as they lead you to be.
Oh, Mommy modified those with silicone hair bands so that they are. But I'm starting to teach him to drink out of a normal big boy glass, and so he looked at me and smiled, and I was like, you know, I see those gears turning. You better not turn that upside down, buddy. You will have a timeout like you would not believe. You know there's no lid on that. Come on now. You're a smart child. But
Sometimes that's the fun of it. I still enjoy going out in the rain, especially when I know it's raining.
we'll see, exactly. And I think that there's this whole world that opens up to you when you have kids. It's like you get to relive your childhood through the experience that you are giving to someone else now. And I think that's my favorite part.
No, it is wondrous. You know what I'm saying? I miss the innocence of childhood.
I do too. And the adventures. My grandfather used to, he'd randomly screw with the clocks while I was sleeping. And he would, so I would think it was like midnight or 2 a.m. or whatever, but it really wasn't. He was being more responsible than I thought. And so when this alarm would go off, he'd be like, oh, it's adventure time. And we'd do something crazy like, I grew up at Cranbrook Science Museum on the campus. And so like there was this big sculpture. It almost looked like a big football goal, you know, like almost. But if you went there and tapped on it, all these bats, like hundreds of bats would fly out the top. And so that was one of our adventures. Or like sometimes, you know, so I'd always think it was way late at night, but really it wasn't, because my bedtime was like 7:30 back then. So he would just screw with the clocks so that I would feel like we were being sneaky, but we really weren't.
Yeah. We were up to midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were back by 8 o'clock, tucked in.
Yep, exactly. But I would swear that it was midnight or 1 or 2, or he'd sneak me out to the best sledding hill right after the snow was falling. And I would think it was like 3 in the morning, but it was really like 9 or 10 p.m. Like,
Beyond that, good man, though. That's awesome.
yeah. So he was still being responsible while making me feel like I was having these big, serious adventures. He really had a balance. It was quite beautiful looking back on it.
I think that's the main difference between adulthood and childhood. One of the biggest differences I see. When you're young and you're going through those experiences, you don't understand the bliss that is happening around you. When you get older, you get the feeling when you're on an adventure. You know it's an adventure. When you're younger, you're just living life. And I think that's like the coolest part. I always go back to my mom used to literally sit in the living room with the light on watching TV till we'd get home. And she never gave us a curfew, but we knew she'd be waiting up. So there was 6 of us. And throughout the years, we all managed to start coming home because of the fact that we knew our mom was waiting. Subconsciously, we were home around 11:30 every night. And like later on, she laughed and she goes, I never gave you guys a curfew, but you all understood I'd be waiting, so you generally just decided on your own you were going to come home earlier. And she goes, so I didn't have to, you know, give you any guidelines. You guys followed them on your own just because of the fact that you cared. So, you know what I'm saying? Just the general innocence of being a kid again. I wish I had it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. It's like it's so important. You know, it's like, for example, when I was a kid, we were allowed, it used to be in the 80s, Marcus, you probably remember this rule, 80s and 90s, if you were with your parents at age 16, you were allowed to drink if your parents said it was okay and never to excess. I had my own liquor cabinet for holidays, but I knew not to have any more than one cocktail. It's that sense of responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're going to trust you with no curfew, but the first time you fuck up and I'm left sitting up till 3 a.m., that ends. And so you don't fuck up. It's the same thing.
If you do fuck up, that axe comes down very quickly.
Yes, it does.
And very hard.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. Like, there is no playing around with that. It's like the first time you screw up, like, you're in so much trouble, it's unreal. But, yeah, because we lived, I guess I should elaborate because my mom's telling me I wasn't exactly right. The way it is because we came from a prestigious family that was well known, no one was going to fuck with us is what she said. And because, you know, we had that very, like, Burl Ives Christmas type family where it's like everyone has a cocktail in their hand and matching ugly Christmas sweaters, and we're all sitting around the fireplace singing Christmas carols, drinking on Christmas. But,
Oh my God, that sounds torturous.
oh, it wasn't, oh my goodness. You know, as much as I struggled to be nonconformist, I realized, like, what a wonderful childhood I really did have. With patches of rough stuff here and there, of course, because that's anybody. But, I mean, my family, we are so close-knit. I grew up in the gated community at Cranbrook for the first 12 years of my life. So, I mean, you want to talk about shell shock, you know, moving to the big city with my mother and finding out that, no, I couldn't just go walk somewhere because now we're not in a gated community with a guard booth to keep me safe, you know. So it's that dual nature. Like you know, it's the, okay, you have unlimited freedom, but it's not really unlimited freedom because in the back of your mind, there's a boundary there that I'm being given this freedom because I'm expected to act like an adult even if I'm not. And that means that I know I could stay out till 3 a.m., but I know that's not the right thing to do, so I'm coming home at 9 p.m.
Yes, it's the illusion within the illusion.
It really is. It's really, that's a great setup for adult life. It really is.
It is. Now I'm going to cry the rest of the evening. No, I'm kidding.
I might. You never know. I might.
So who else is on here? Instrumental Devil, are you still on here?
No, he actually works really, really early, and I think he forgot to turn off the timer on his computer because it's set to go off at a set time to turn his computer down if he's watching movies before bed. And so I think his system shut itself down. Speaking of responsibility in adulthood, that guy works so hard, Marcus. That's our graphic designer. And yeah, and he works so hard. He's such a wonderful person, and he still has all this love and puts every second of his free time into the underground.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's something else.
Oh, I wish he was on here so I could say what up to him. I actually went into the website and I'm making a couple minor changes and adding some stuff because we had some updates. And then I think I'll turn everything back over to them to add some more music to the page. But I think the website should be up Monday. So.
Yep. Yeah, you know, it's been such a wonderful experience. I'm learning how to build websites, and I had a hand in that, and he was kind of guiding me and helping me, and he did all the graphic work. Like, he is amazing. He's the one also editing the model pics.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'll have to add him. I don't think we're friends on the book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Evil little book.
Yeah.
Book.
And I know he's got some other stuff. He's working on, he's actually, hold on, I've got someone blowing me up. That's fun, because I'm using my phone and the
Texting.
yeah, and I've got a friend that apparently, speaking of helping people, she's going through a rough night, and I'm going to have to turn down my, I can't turn down the actual text tone. Oh, well, I'm going to have to hope that I told her I was live on air and I'd help her in a minute, so. But you know how it is. But so as I was saying, he's got these model pics, and I had the shoot done, and then I had the photographer send everything over to him, and it was pretty awkward. I hired someone that doesn't usually work in the underground because I wanted someone that's used to, high fashion and magazine, because I wanted that kind of look for the website. And the person was just like, oh, is this a Juggalo thing? And I was like, no, it's an underground thing. And he's like, what's the difference? And I started laughing, and I was like, let me tell you. So, yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. And we had a great group of girls. That's one thing. I love working with different people that aren't from the industry, because I love helping people expand their portfolios while still getting what we need to get the job done. And it's just that mutually beneficial symbiosis there is just what makes life,
Yeah, everything should be done that way.
Yeah, it should.
Absolutely.
The barter system should be alive and well.
Yeah, my dad used to tell us all the time, if you're going to take a step, know where your next step leads. So, yeah, you got to have, you have to develop a sidewalk before you walk on it. So, everything takes time. I think that's an awesome idea. I try to do that with music. We've done a couple mixtapes where we just literally just called up random artists that we knew, that we liked their sound, that we said, fuck it, let's put them on this song. And one of them, we had like 102 different MCs from Michigan on it. So it's all it is about expansion. It's also about, you need versatility. I mean, a model can be a model for, she can be in a Rihanna video, or she can be in an Eminem video. Well, they've had videos together, but either way, you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always nice to work with people that aren't what you would expect to see in the underground. Like, people always expect piercings and tattoos and, like, band t-shirts and stuff like that. And I love to work with models that are used to high fashion and don't know anything about the underground world, because you get that raw honesty from a model that's not posing the way she thinks you want her to look.
Gotcha. I got a next door neighbor who's a dentist, and on the weekends, if you saw him come out in his Harley shit and get on his Harley, you'd have no fucking idea. So, I feel ya.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's always great when all these different aspects come together, and you can mix and match a bundle, so to speak. Oh, I'm going to take models that are used to the high fashion industry, and I'm going to take a graphic designer that's used to working for hotels. He isn't, I'm just saying. We're going to take a graphic designer that's used to working for hotels, and we're going to take an MC that usually hosts, I don't know, soccer. You know what I mean? And we're going to put this all together, and we're going to get this raw, honest feel to it, because we're taking people slightly out of their comfort zone, but still keeping them in what they're used to.
And forming something unique that someone else isn't doing. So, I think that's better too. I like the cataclysmic results of putting people together that normally wouldn't be.
Exactly.
Yep. I unfortunately have to get off the phone. I have a daughter who's knocked on my door about 4 times now and said, "Can you just come out and sit with me?"
Oh, that'll just break your heart.
I mean, yeah, nothing can pull at me harder than that.
So, Marcus, real quick before you go, did you ever have that moment with the original Charlotte's Web where the second Charlotte gets to the fair, you turn that sucker off because, damn it, if your kid's going to see you cry over a cartoon spider?
No, probably when I was younger, none of my kids really got into Charlotte's Web. It's kind of weird.
The 1973 is Bug's favorite, and he calls it his pig movie. I want my pig movie.
Oh no, I think that's all. I mean, movie-wise, I think they can get into pretty much anything. But I'm big on reading. I mean, literally, they're all reading 4 books for the summer. They have to complete them. So when it came to Charlotte's Web, I was reading it to them, and there was just like no interest. I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we started with the movie. His grandmother had it on VHS from when we were all little, and he asked for it, and she's like, "Are you sure? That's a really old movie, sweetheart." And he's like, "I like old movies. Doesn't Mommy like old movies?" And I was like, "Well, of course I do, Bug." And I said, "It's here in this box, isn't it?" And so they took it to the beach, and he was watching that, and then all of a sudden I said, "You know, sweetie, this, I have to be so careful not to use his name, and it's so hard sometimes. But I was like, well, you know, Bug, this didn't start off as a movie. Someone took it from a book and drew it. And he said, a book? And I said, well, yes, sweetie, a book. And he came over the next weekend, and he had that darn book, and we read the whole thing in 2 nights. And he's so funny. He was like, Mommy, why are there tears in your eyes? And I said, oh, sweetie, Mommy just doesn't deal with some of the facts of life very well. And he goes, I know, Charlotte died, but look at all those beautiful children she left behind, Mommy, just like you and me. I was like, oh.
That's awesome comprehension, too.
Yeah, he's something else. That's the ASD side. Like, he's scarily in tune with the world around him, but then basic everyday thing, like crossing the street, he shows no fear. Things that he should be apprehensive about, he's not, but then he grasps the entire situation on what's going on in his world and our shared custody agreement and everything else. And it's very interesting to watch an autistic child on his level understand the world around him like that. It's very inspiring.
No, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, fathom-wise, I can't put myself there, but I think it's, to hear you speak of it so highly, too, I mean, that's awesome.
Well, it's great. You don't often see blended families after the dissolution of a family situation, you know, a marriage, a partnership, whatever. You don't often see families that will blend for the sake of the child. You know, I'm living in a state that I'm not from, and I have the best relationship with my son's grandparents. And like I said, we share half and half with him, and it's great. And I wish that everyone going through a divorce or a separation where kids are involved could put aside everything and do what we do.
I think co-parenting went out the door when people started feeling that they were more important than someone else.
Yep.
Kids unfortunately are usually treated like pawns nowadays, and it really fucking sucks.
And especially on social media, like everyone wants to talk about, he did me wrong, she did this, he did drugs, she did alcohol, they did this. And it's like, just stop it. You're destroying a little life in that.
That's the worst part about it.
Mm-hmm.
Before they realize it and they actually grow up and mature to the point that they realize it, it's already fucked up too late. So.
It is, and right away I decided that however I felt about whatever happened in my situation did not fucking matter. What matters is that tiny little boy that only sees that everything in his life is changing and has to adapt. And
oh, yeah. I got called Thursday. There was a pool party at my kid's house. I get called up, hey, and this is by my co-parent. That's what I always say.
mm-hmm.
She says, hey, Michaela needs a bathing suit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She has a party in 45 minutes, and she has 12 friends coming over. They're going swimming.
Oh, and we thought 45 minutes beforehand was the time to address this, apparently.
Well, regardless, but it was brought up and it needed to be addressed and it needed to be handled. And when it comes to that stuff, I can call her in the reverse situation if the kids are with me and something's going on. And you just take care of business. When it comes to the children, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't give a shit. She dated a dude named Mark. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, whatever. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. When it all boils down to it, it's about my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're like that, too. Like, if my son is with her and he's got a problem in school, I'm just as likely to get a call and go up to the school and address it so she can work. Or doctor's appointments we both handle. Same thing. Sometimes, and I understand it, my point is it may suck that you had to address it 45 minutes before a party, but the point is, you don't get to say on social media, hey, 45 minutes before my kid's party, no. It's, okay, well, I guess things are easy to overlook. Let me just jump in the car and let's go take her to get a bathing suit. And you just do it. Yeah.
Beyond that, I'm glad she has enough respect for me to call me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
She could call her drunk-ass dad and he could go drive up and get it. You know what I'm saying? But,
Yep. Or like if the kid gets in trouble in school, it doesn't become about where the kid learned whatever the kid did. It's got to be about, okay, this is solidarity. We need a united front. You know, it's like I explained to my son, He's like, Mommy, how come over here I take timeouts this way and at Grandma's house I do it that way? And I said, because, Alex, everybody has different rules for their house, and you'll learn that growing up. And so the way you take a timeout at Mommy's house where we talk about everything might not be the way you do it at Grandma's house, where you just have to sit in a chair and be quiet. Two different styles, and that's okay. Things don't have to be the same. They're not always going to be the same, and you need to adjust to that. And the important part is when you're told to take that time out, excuse me, whether it's a timeout the mommy way or whether it's a timeout the grandma way, you need to know that you can't screw around. It's still about following directions and taking the darn time out.
Just chill out.
Yeah, exactly. Like just,
I heard it.
yep, sit down, take the time out. It doesn't matter how the timeout is being given or by which person. You know, or my partner, he doesn't mess around either. My son was screwing around one day, and I was like, hey, stop screwing around, or it's 7:30, you're going to bed. By 8 o'clock, he was still screwing around, and I had said one more time, and you're going to bed. He stood up and went to jump on the bed, and my partner picked him up, carried him into the room, put him down, and he was like, no, your mother said to quit screwing around, and I know your mother wants everything perfect while you're here, but you're screwing around. And then he looked at me and he said, don't you dare undermine me. Like he knew, because I didn't want to put my kid to bed, you know. And he totally called me. And
Sasha had the finger in the air and was about to open her mouth.
yeah, and he was like, don't you dare go get him. I laid down the law. And he was right. He was being funny about it, but he was right. I didn't want to have to put him to bed, you know, so. But that's
part of my problem. Sometimes my heart for my children overrides the discipline that I'm supposed to do.
Yep, and rule number 1, don't threaten it unless you're prepared to follow through, and I'm a bad one for that sometimes. So I'm glad that we could have this wonderful time on air this evening. And again, just to recap, the Last Laugh Records fan competition for prize packs. Make you a sign, go tag at KPZ on Facebook and post your little fan sign, and you know, bonus points for creativity, and there may be more than one prize pack. You never know.
And you can either put hashtag mittenmademusic with a K or mittenmademusic.com.
And that's MUSIK.
MUSIK.
K for KPZ.
Nah, it's for chaos, is it?
Is it? It might be.
The silent lady in the background.
The one who we...
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. And, I hope everyone checks out all the music we got going on. I hope everyone tunes in every cast that Sasha has for the show. This is a pretty cool setup, and shout outs to Majik Ninja Radio.
Whoop whoop.
I just wanted to remind everyone that on Monday on YouTube at Last Laugh Records LLC, we're dropping the video for Potholes. Everyone can relate to this song. It's funny as shit, and the video is goofy as hell.
Dude, I was rolling with just those clips. I was rolling. That shit's great. You did great. You always do great. You always bring your A game, Marcus. Always.
We have fun. I accidentally fucked up shaving my beard today before the video, so I'm completely beardless. It's weird, but it's a fun video.
Oh, that's so great, though.
Y'all have a good night. Be safe.
All right, hug those little ones for me.
Absolutely.
All right, night-night.